We are back to events today. Feel a little sore from playing soccer this week. It's been a few weeks of a break, so it was a little rough getting back into it. My hips were sore, my feet were sore, my hamstrings are definitely feeling a little tight. So we're gonna get through our warm up, and then I'm gonna do some hamstring stretches, some hip mobility work. Hopefully that'll kind of loosen things up before we get into some yoke. So I just realized that I did not do 365 last week, I did 345. But that's fine, that's 65%. Not a bad starting spot. I'm gonna still stick with what I intended today, 395, and seeing what that feels like and how fast we are with it. So my mistake. We got 4 runs of this, and hopefully we won't have to change it. Let's keep it going. So, about 7 seconds with that. That's a good time. We'll do 3 more runs there. I'm not sure whether it's a matter of not having done this in a while, or just sore legs or whatnot, but I feel so uncoordinated. So a couple tips for when we're doing yoke carry. You'll see some people, they'll keep their hands on the bar and lift and go from there. It's good support, keeping that upper back nice and tight. The only problem you run into is everything swings. You have no control of that. And so if you're keeping the weight low, you might be smacking into the floor. And sometimes the surface isn't even that even, so you might be having trouble with that. What I like doing is I like grabbing a little bit lower, a thumb length from this point, which is probably about hip height. And you want to try to think about pushing out and forward. What that's going to help do is create more sturdiness in this rack. You know, the only thing holding these pieces together is the center beam, and so everything tends to wobble. So you're trying to prevent that more and more. And by pushing forward, it kind of leans everything slightly up, so it's less likely to move on you as well. So you're trying to almost just push everything apart and lock yourself in. Let's go set number 2. I set my palms forward, and I'm digging the heel of my palm into that edge. Just like so, no thumb. I don't want my thumb to get stuck anywhere. Then I find that place on my shoulders, find my footing, just like so. And then I get a nice deep breath, I squat and go. All right guys, so we did a couple warm-up runs. Now we're gonna do 10 flips. I'm assuming I'll end somewhere around here. It starts to get really sloped down, so we'll see what happens. But 10 flips as fast as we can, a little bit of cardio, and seeing what that time frame is. So, I don't want to do this, but I can get through it fast. You know, it didn't feel so bad. I might have skipped 1 or 2. I'll have to check. The worst part though is just jamming my shoulders into that tire. That hurts. But other than that, not so bad. So it took about 40 seconds. So I think if the competition is 7 flips, we'll be aiming for closer to 30 seconds. Man, this just hurts. You should have seen me in my last prep. I had so much trouble with this bag and the heavier one that I felt so like, there's no way. If I can get the first 2 bags, I'll be happy. But I put in a lot of work and it paid off. So I think once we get more and more comfortable with this one and the other one, we'll reincorporate the EMOMs. But for now, we're gonna get some solid runs of this in, and we'll do EMOMs with the lighter bags. Maybe we'll do EMOMs but a higher height too, with like the 175 or the 150, and go from there. I'm starting to notice that as I get tired, I don't hold it so high, so that's something to be very mindful of. Trying to keep it as high as I can. And it might not feel comfortable, of course, so that encourages me to be a little bit faster. Because I know for sure, once that third bag comes, it's gonna be a lot heavier. It's gonna feel a lot heavier at that point, that if I'm already holding it too low, that's gonna be even too low as well. So keep that in mind when you're training. Train for height on the body, so that way you don't have to come back down here, shuffle it again, and then load it over, because you're wasting pressure's time. We are back, last session of the week. Yesterday was a lazy day, so pushed back to my 4th session. Yeah, just feeling a little lazy, but I knew if you put it into perspective of, what is it? We got 12 weeks, you got 4 sessions a week, you got, 48 sessions. Every session you miss is pretty substantial. So I'm trying to kind of remind myself of that, make the most out of every session I can. Two, 1. Hold on. Let's see. see what we got. The one thing we have to remind ourselves is it's always gonna be heavy, it's gonna feel heavy, it's gonna be tough. But it's really just a matter of, can we do it? Can we do it well? So this will always feel challenging because I'm trying to push as much as I can. It's gonna be uncomfortable because it's heavy and frustrating because it's not a strength of mine. So we're just week by week seeing if we can make some amount of improvement. So we're gonna wait till it hits 20 on there. Lock that in. Come on. Oh, yes. All right. Barely made 20 seconds. I felt like I had a really good grip, just not a strong grip.